There definitely was an incident. I was the breacher, so I was the one that kicked everything off. I had the shotgun, and you defeat the locks on the sides, the hinges, boom, 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 and then you go in there, and we went through the whole thing. You clearing the house, securing people, all the stuff.
Everything we do is dangerous.
It's all dangerous.
We had to pick up a guy that was the only person in country who knew how to use a piece of equipment that was vital to mission success. And they basically gave us a up-armored Highlander, and they said, hey, take your buddy, drive across the country of Syria with no supervision, and you'll have an escort to be there, but that's pretty much it. So me and my buddy, basically, we're in civilian clothes, got beards, and we just have our guns on us. I was driving, and we're following the Syrian escort, but in Syria, they have checkpoints everywhere. And we were going to this checkpoint, and the Syrian escort blows right through it, but we got stuck. And these Syrian guys with AKs and everything were just screaming at us. We couldn't roll down the windows. They started pointing guns at us, telling us to get out the car, get out the car, get out the car. I had my Glock on me, like put to the door, and my buddy had his gun. We were looking at each other like, okay, if shit hits the fan, I'm gonna fucking blow through this. We're gonna get out and just lace gun. But luckily, right as it reached its peak of just where they started like just banging on the windows with their guns trying to break them, the Syrians whipped around and they were like, no, they're with us. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, wave us through.
We were on a convoy going through Mosul, and we got some RPG fire on us. And in the moment, I had no emotional reaction because kind of your training just takes over. And you're in it, and you're communicating, and you're returning fire, and you're getting out of there. You're getting off the X, It was only afterwards that you start to think about, like, that was a real thing, that then you kind of get that, but it's all after the fact,
It's very interesting just being part of a culture where everything's like super professional and you're expected to hide your emotions and you're expected to be this tough guy. The hardest thing was the transition to coming back to normal. I still feel myself super hyper vigilant at all times. Like when I go out to eat in like Thousand Oaks, California, which is the safest city in almost the world, and it's like I still face towards the door and I look at every single person that walks in just because that's part of my training. That's literally part of who I am and who I was.
You have a mindset that you train with for years and years and years, and you find little pieces of it that stick around, the way that you observe a room or the way that you park your car, a certain way. It's ingrained in you for so many years that it just kind of sticks with you even afterwards.
The rules of engagement are pretty much divvied up per country and per conflict.
The rules of engagement are determined by the conflict, circumstances, the political circumstances, things like that. That all comes together, and that's for everybody.
The Geneva Convention goes out the window because I get to
Spec
wear a tan
Ops.
beret or a green beret.
No,
it's all the same.
Yeah, no, we're under the same rules as everybody else. The hardest part of my experience was definitely on the training side because, first of all, basic training, and you're just new to the Army. But as you train more and more, the pipeline of becoming a Green Beret, it just gets more and more kind of intense. And they tell you specifically, like, we want to make this harder than any actual experience than you may encounter, so that when you do encounter something out in the field, in a real battlefield situation, you can execute, you can do it without thinking about it.
For me, it's opposite almost. It's funny because the culture and the way the Ranger Regiment works, we had a saying, the easy part is getting there. That is where you would tell them. I mean, you just have to go through 8 weeks, right? It's just 8 weeks compared to the year and a half, 2 years that you guys take that. And then 64 days of Ranger School, I was there for 5 months. So things you're doing in RASP are Army standards, just held up to regimental level. It's just a 20% increase in your standards. In the Army, it's 60%. In Ranger Regiment, it's 80% for like your physical stuff. But you're just doing that in RASPs, just at a condensed level. When you get to actual Ranger Regiment, you're doing everything you did in RASP more often at a higher level. The training's easy. It's just staying in regiment is the hard part. That's what we would say. MARSOC is more unconventional warfare, I would say.
Green Berets kind of borrow from that, but it's a lot of foreign internal defense, which means you're training the trainers, training the indigenous forces. There's a lot of cultural engagement when it comes to that. We're shooters as well. We're kind of more of an autonomous unit in that sense.
And then the Ranger Regiment is action raid force, specializing in HVT targets and airfield seizure. So it's just like we're all under the special operations umbrella. So that would be a similarity.
You train for all different kinds of scenarios. When you talk talk about a stealth mission, you do nighttime operations, you train with nods, you train with certain types of weapon systems, you train with other assets, other air assets or things like that, and you do these joint training exercises to be ready for something, some kind of clandestine, some kind of nighttime. It's all difficult in one way or another, but it's just a different skill set that you need. You could say that everything that I did was a stealth mission.
I think stealth is extremely challenging because do you know how easy it is, especially in the Ranger Regiment, to just drop the fucking hammer on somebody? That's what we want to do, and it's like we're carrying heavy shit. It's hard to be quiet. Once we go loud, that's what we want to do, is go loud. Silent clearing is extremely challenging because you have to do breaching, you have to do everything without notifying the people there. I feel like that's way more challenging than just blowing the place up, because that's the easy solution.
Fair point.
It's a really hard question because if you think in the context of things, everything we do is dangerous.
It's all dangerous.
It's all, I mean, jumping out of planes, that's dangerous.
The most dangerous.
Yeah.
All the dangerous things that we do on a regular basis.
Yeah, handling explosives, that's dangerous. Shooting within a meter of each other, that's dangerous.
There definitely was an incident. I was the breacher, so I was the one that kicked everything off. I had the shotgun, and you defeat the locks on the sides, the hinges, boom, 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 and then you go in there, and we went through the whole thing. You clearing the house, securing people, all the stuff, the kind of full spectrum of things that you have to do. But that definitely was kind of one of the more intense things that I ever did. I know for us, the M4 was our primary. We used 9mm Berettas, flashbangs, frag grenades. That was like the standard stuff that I typically worked with. And then you would work with mounted vehicles like the 50 cal, machine gun, automatic grenade launcher, things like that.
We definitely had some weapons that the conventional army didn't have. So we still used the M4 platform, but we added an extended rail on it. So the Daniel Defense extended rails, that's something that we had over the conventional army. We also had shorty M4s, so different size barrels. And then as far as belt-fed machine guns, we'd have like the Mark 48, which is a 7.62 version of a SAW. So we definitely had a bit of a newer stuff. That's what made the job great. It's just like you get all this fancy stuff. When you play a basic video game, you see all night vision in green. I saw night vision in white. That's why technology is awesome.
All the stuff that you wear, the armor, extra mags, you got the weapons, your helmet with the nods on top. I mean, you do so many ruck marches, you do so many hours worth of training and stuff like that, and it's heavy and it wears on you. At the end of the night, once you get back in, you are tired. You just get used to it, man. You just do it so much.
You do get used to it. Overseas, I was a gun team leader. Typical gun team, I would have to carry 800 rounds of 7.62. 100 rounds of 7.62 weighs about 7 pounds. 7 times 8, 56 pounds, plus a 10-pound tripod in the bag, 66 pounds just on my back, and then I have to carry the rucksack itself weighs another couple pounds, so we'll call it around 70, and that's just on my pack for a real-life mission. We also have to carry other rounds, so I'd have to carry nutsacks on me, which hold the ammo, so I was probably carrying 110 pounds for me.
I'm so glad I was a Green Beret.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider there's like an exact ammo count inside your magazine. Like you kind of have a feeling for it, but
right.
When I'm shooting, I'm not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there's so much other things that are going on around you.
It's like a training kind of thing where you get a feel for how long you've been in the fight, where you're at in the house, and if there's a moment, if you could, get a full mag in there. And then we would have these pouches. We take that mag, we just stuff it in, and we just leave it out on the field, throw it away.
The second your gun goes cold, you know, because you'll feel the gun go forward, but that feeling when it comes cold, it's that bolt locks back, so it's just like that.
Right,
so
it's real obvious.
It's super obvious, and that works into the muscle memory thing. So right when that gun goes cold, the magazine goes in it.
You react, yeah, you do it without thinking. I'm trying to think of specific scenarios, but like certainly for training and stuff, I would be drinking that water like it was going out of style, man. Because that's the easiest thing to get rid of, and then on a hot day, you really don't go to the bathroom all that much anyway.
Yeah, no. Nutrition's a big thing, getting calories in when you stop. And the thing is, if you're too tired to even do the mission, the infill is a waste of time. We're not sprinting. If we have like 5K movement, we're definitely not sprinting. We're taking our time, and we've planned how much time we think it'll take us, just because if everybody's broken by the time we get there, we can't do the mission, and it's useless.
We got 5 clicks to the objective. I'm not at the high ready or the low ready. I'm walking. You train to do that kind of automatically. Then as you get closer, everything starts to become more heightened, and you switch mentalities into that, kind of closer to the objective kind of thing.
Not to mention if you have a heavy ass rucksack when you're walking, when you get to a patrol base or like an ORP, which is an objective rally point, that's a place you dump all that stuff off. So that way you guys be fast, and then whenever the operation's done, you go back, grab your rucks, tally-ho. Yeah, the easiest hand-to-hand combat tip is use your gun.
There you go.
The first part of this is what's the most dangerous thing you've ever had to do?
Go to war. Oh, they're Marines?
Yeah, they're Marines.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Marine Raiders.
I'm leaving.